Hi guys, we're Emily and Ashley, and we figured if you're here, you probably want to know who the hell we are.
That's right.
And why you're here. So we're going to tell you who we are, what you're doing here, and why you should stick around and hang out with us.
Yeah, so stick with us for a little chat. Who's Ashley? Who's the mysterious, illustrious Ashley? Also lots of miles.
Also lots of miles.
And who is Emily? And why are we here? And what are we doing this for? So we just want to tell you a little about us.
Yeah. Should I start?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I'm going to be totally honest. So we met in college. We weren't instant friends, not because we didn't like each other. We just kind of ran in different circles. And we had an opportunity to go on semester at sea. Some of you, I bet, have done that. And you're like, whew, that's a thing.
Uh-huh.
And the second we sat down next to each other on a plane, it was just like an instant best friend connection.
Yeah.
Right? Is that my version or is that the authentic?
I think that's the real
Okay.
version. I mean, we immediately were like, listen, we got to Europe and we were getting on this ship with like 400 college students, 450 college students. And we did everything together, basically we never separated again for day one. I mean, we had a few little things that were pre-planned on the trip that we didn't do together, but like clearly we established this very close relationship right away. And then over the years, we've lived in different places. Both of us have lived in the same town.
Yeah. We've gone through big things. You got a PhD and worked through that. That was years of insanely hard work.
Yeah, and you've been doing a lot of elite marathon training that takes a lot of time and energy and effort. And
procreated.
that
was the thing.
Got married. Added another person into the mix in our families. But we've always stuck together, except for that you keep trying to say that you're done being friends with me.
I do. I keep trying to tell your mom to stop paying me to be your friend, but she won't.
You're stuck with me.
So a couple things about just me, and then we'll do just you.
Okay.
People want to know. Obviously, I love to run. You just said that. So I'm a distance runner. I love to run. Obviously, I love to read. We'll get more on that later.
Mm-hmm.
Oddly, I love to do crossword puzzles, which is how my husband proposed. I love to spend time with women. I love doing anything outdoors. Not anything adrenaline-y, but like hiking, that kind of stuff. Really, that's me in a nutshell. And I have 2 boys, and I live in Oregon.
We have small differences between us that we always talk about and capitalize on. That we make jokes about, like she likes her coffee black and I like my coffee with oat milk, and how could we possibly be friends? But really we're very similar otherwise. I also am a runner, very different genre of running, the kind where you just do some random miles at a random slow pace with a friend. So clearly very different levels of engagement there with it, but I enjoy running. I enjoy being outside too we love to go for walks. Yep. We love to sit on a porch and have a coffee or a glass of wine. Yes. We obviously have this shared love of books. And, I also am married and do lots of all the things that you do with little kids.
Yes. We
right?
also love not taking ourselves too seriously. Don't you think, like, when you look back at the years of things, like, we've been through big stuff.
Yeah.
Just obviously PhD, fertility treatment, big things, and we just never took anything too seriously, which I think keeps a friendship chugging forward.
Definitely.
Otherwise, it's just,
Well, and it's a commitment, right? So people sometimes are like, oh, I wish I had a friend that long. Well, there are moments of our relationship, like when you slept with my husband.
That was bad. I shouldn't have done that. We're joking.
See,
but
we don't take
it is a commitment. It takes work.
Yeah, it takes work. I mean, just when you go through things where you're like not getting along, or you're not seeing eye to eye, or the person's like irritating you because I'm being a grump, or she's, doing her own thing or whatever, you just can't allow those things to take over the bigger picture. And the thing is, we're closer than ever because we have stuck through that commitment. And our problems are really rare and fleeting in a 20-year period. It's like a partnership that is...
And solvable. Like, there's nothing that we've been through that we were like, that's it. Sometimes it's like, I need a breather. And then it's a come together, but never. Anyway.
Yeah.
Should we get to why they're here?
Yes.
Okay.
So we mentioned the shared love of books, right? And so Ashley and I, for years, well, not that many years, we both took a hiatus from reading when we had little kids, like had a hard time with reading, but then we got back into reading, and for quite a while, we would just be like, oh my gosh, you have to read this book. And it was all thrillers. Yes. We love the same books. We have very, very much kind of shared
Absolutely.
feelings about books. So we might be nuanced by like a star or half a star, but one of us won't like love a book and the other one hate it. That just hasn't happened.
It has not.
We just both either are like, no, or yes, we love it.
Yes.
So that was really the impetus for being like, there's probably a lot of other people out there with similar kinds of feelings who also would love to talk about these books. Like, let's find those people.
Yeah. I remember sitting in my car, finishing a book, closing it, and crying, as you do when you read books, and then calling you to talk about it. And I really feel like at some point that's when the conversation started to be like, there have to be other women and men out there who need the outlet of talking about these books that have, although most of them are fiction, have real life issues in them.
Yep. Yeah. Some of them, that's the thing, is there can be some real depth to thrillers. They go with, serious relationship issues, or the way that you communicate with people, or women empowerment, things like that we like really were meaningful to us, that we were like, we want to talk about this more. Yeah. It was also COVID.
Also that.
So it was January of 2021 when we finally, so it's been 2 years.
It's been 2 years.
2 years, just over 2 years. We just finally were like, let's just start a Facebook group and tell some people about it, invite some friends, invite some people we know, and see if it sticks and if people want to come and talk about this. And we did that for about a year.
Yeah, we did it for a year, where we met once a month and talked on Zoom. And we didn't have we had a name, Creepy Book Club, but we just recommended books. Everyone would go buy their own and we talk about them that way.
Yep.
It was a small group, but a lovely, wonderful, amazing group of women that we will always be connected with.
Yes.
But then we decided, actually we did a TikTok about our book club and getting together, a retreat.
Yeah.
And quickly realized we needed to offer this to more people as a way to connect.
Yes.
And that's when we decided to do it.
Yes. So we went to Arizona with like 3 other women that we didn't know. Amy from DC, and Elise and Heather from Nashville, and just like randomly showed up, and we spent the entire weekend together.
And our friends thought we were crazy. We were like, but it's the Creepy Book Club. That's what you do. Get together with strangers in random states.
It was so much fun. These are dear friends of ours who we still, all 3 of them we text with, we care about. Yes. They're like our friends, our real life friends. And so that was a really fun retreat. And after people saw that, hey, we were doing that kind of thing, they're like, wait, I like thriller books and I like the idea of community. Yes. And so we just started growing. Yeah.
Yeah, we just did it, and then decided we needed to get these books in your hands in a way that felt the best to us, which is by directly supporting authors. So getting the books from the publishers, and having a system to get a book of the month to you. And I think one of the coolest things, and Emily always points this out, is that we don't read the books before you guys read them, because we want to read them with you. So when we choose books, we are experiencing the book of the month with you. And it's always a new release, so there aren't even very many reviews about it. And we just think, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
But then we know we have a group of people to digest it with, whether we love it or we don't.
Yeah.
Although if we don't,
we have this thing, we love books. First off, we're really easy to please. Like in general in life, we're just like,
wine,
everything's fine. Like it's all good. And so, which is probably why we're such good friends. We're both like, yeah, that seems fun about anything. But with books, we're pretty easy to please. We like, it's a thriller. It's good. It's fun. Like we enjoy it. So rarely will we really dislike a book.
Right.
But we don't want to talk about those books. Like, we don't want to focus on the negative when there's so many books that we like that we can talk about.
Absolutely.
But like also, this is an author who put so much energy into this craft, into this art. Yes. And like, we haven't done that. I'm not going to criticize someone else's work that I can't do like in a meaningful way. And so as soon as we started to get a platform, it was like, we just need to be really mindful of that. Like, it is not my place to turn people off of some book.
Yes.
That may be right for them, right?
Right. But we will be honest, if someone says to us, did you like it directly? We'll say yes or no. We're just not going to throw someone under the bus if we don't need to.
Yeah. And it's funny because we have this thing we always say. We both always will be like, people will be like, oh, there's this book, what about this book? And we'll be like, oh yeah, I read that.
I read that book. Just a factual, I read it.
That's a book. That's our way of just making a comment, but we don't have to make a negative comment. Hey, look, it's like Bambi.
Yes.
Right? Was it Bambi?
Yes.
If you don't have anything nice to say,
I don't know. Don't say anything at all. It's just the golden rule.
That's the golden rule.
The Bambi's were anyway.
Did it come from Bambi? I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. That's probably all the way wrong.
But also, so we have the books, we read the books, and then my favorite part is that we meet on Zoom and we talk about the books. So we get together and we talk about it. And we have people, last month we had an aunt and her niece who were on, and they both hated the book. And everyone else loved the book, and they could not handle why people didn't love the book. So sometimes too, we'll start talking about a book and we'll be like, oh, 5 out of 5. And then the more we talk about it, the more we're like, oh.
I know.
And then we end and we're like, 1 out of 5. Like,
But what's really funny is sometimes too, we'll be in there and we'll be like, this was a plot hole. That was a plot hole.
Yeah.
Like, this was ridiculous. And then we'll be like, I still liked it a lot.
yeah, it's still a good book. Just
It's
read
totally
it.
fun. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what we do. And then we also have, obviously we have multiple social media platforms where people recommend books, where they talk about books. And it's just really great to have all this like, hey, I'm going to hop on here today and see kind of what's going on. What are people chatting about? What are people reading?
If I liked this, what should I read next?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's such a fun community. So yeah.
So we'll be here. We'll be here recommending books. We'll be here with book chats, telling you what we thought of books in 8 minutes or less.
Yes.
And we're here really because we want to know what you love to read too.
Yeah. So we have a new series starting. The first one is already up of book chats. We're going to drop a few, pretty quickly. And what we want to hear from you is, only watch them if you like spoilers.
Yes.
Or if you've read the book already. But let us know what you think too in comments. We would love to make this interactive. And, we'll probably do some where we take your comments and say, interesting, here's some new takes. So thanks for being here, y'all.
Thanks for being here. Like, follow, subscribe.
Nice to meet everybody.
Happy reading.
Happy reading.